Pretty cool. What is up, fam?
What is up, WIP?
What is up, beast? And yeah, we're back at it.
We're back at it. 2 weeks of nothing.
Yeah, 2 weeks of me overcoming. You could probably hear it in my voice, a little drainage action going on. But
Yeah, homie was dead.
yeah, no, we're chilling now.
We're chilling now, but he was.
Thank God.
He was, yeah.
But we're good. We're good. It was maybe like a couple rough days, but we back on top of it. Satan wanted us down, but we got up. We got up.
Hey, yo.
Yeah, pretty cool. But what are we talking about today, man?
What are we talking about today? Whoa, we're wearing pink hats right now.
No way.
Isn't that crazy?
Pink hats?
Pink
Where?
hats. It's like we're in Nashville. And then we're going to be talking about singleness.
Ooh, singleness.
And also dating. Like a little. We're going to tiptoe. Yeah.
A little tiptoe action.
Like singleness, and we're going to talk about, dating here and there, and what to look forward to, and for marriage and stuff. So, yeah. Your hat's gone, bro.
Yeah.
You just...
Dude, that was the...
Are we taking these hats off now?
I already have a hat on. That was the weakest...
Should I keep this on, guys, or should I keep it off?
Like it's a live stream, like the chat's gonna come up.
Yeah, they're gonna...
Take it off!
Take it off! I'll be like, guys, I already did. Yeah.
My throw was so weak. It was so bad. It went like a frisbee. Oh, well. But, let's go.
Let's get it. Jump right into it.
Let's get it. Let's get it. All right.
After you.
After me, okay. I got the honors. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. This is okay. So to start off, I think the most basic thing to ask is, what is love? What is love?
We should go look in the Bible.
Yeah. What does the book of cheats have to say?
The book of cheats.
the book of cheats on life say about that? The life hack book.
Well, what does it say?
Oh, what does it say? Well,
read that
the
thing.
Most basic, not basic, but my favorite verse that talks about love, and I think it's a great verse, and I remember seeing a post on this where, I guess in the context of the post was, there's like little Sally was in middle school or something, telling her dad that, oh, I think I like this boy, blah, 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 blah. And the dad said, well, take his name and put it in this verse and see if it fits. Now, obviously, in the context of this, no one's going to be perfect, blah, 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 except Jesus. But striving to be like that. In the verse, 1 Corinthians 13, 4-7 is, love is patient, love is kind, it does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud, it does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Beautiful. Beautiful verse. Love that verse.
That was a verse I was going to say.
Wait.
But it's okay.
It was?
It's okay.
Oh.
See, that happens. Sometimes we think about the same thing. But no, on a serious note, I love that. Like that verse is so like for real, and
it is for reals.
And my version right now is on the NLT, and I like how yours said persevered at the end, and mine says endures.
Yeah.
And like I love that whole like verse 7 to me, like I love the whole passage of it, but verse 7 really for me is what hits home. And I'll just read it one more time. It says, love never gives up, never loses faith, is always hopeful, and endures or perseveres through every circumstance.
Ooh.
And like
that's good. That
whole idea, and when Paul was talking about that, I just think about like when we think about love in a Christian mindset and Christian belief, I feel like we start to kind of miss that. I feel like people don't go back to what love is, and they put love in their own, what they think it is, and not what the word says it is. And I was talking about this earlier, and how when we talk about like marriage and stuff, like the divorce rates up And when I think about that, I think about this verse of like why is a divorce rate up?
Yeah.
And like we're broken people, like I get it. But it is sad that the percentage is as high as it is.
Yeah.
And I always think back to this verse because I'm like, obviously I'm not in the relationship that they're in, but like what's going wrong? And I'm like, I feel like people don't understand. People don't understand what love is. Yeah. Like they miss out, and they put love in like their own worldly view of it,
definition,
and it's completely false.
I agree.
Like people, and I think it's interesting because it's like, okay, every situation is different. Like there is moments where you have to break up with somebody, or you have to divorce, and that's a healthy thing. I get that, but in the same sense, I don't know. I think just from my own experiences, and then I've seen this verse lived out well, and I've seen this verse lived out very poorly.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it's interesting because I always go back to when I think about dating, and when I think about being married someday, I always go back to this verse because I'm like, how do I want to? If I'm gonna tell somebody I love them,
boom.
Like I have to check these. Am I ready to check these boxes?
Yeah.
Am I ready to be hopeful? Am I ready to persevere when things get hard? Am I ready to be patient? All that kind.
I mean, it literally, like, I like that verse so much too because I feel like it's so direct as well. There's no beating around the bush. It's very direct, and it basically just lists out what love is. And I mean, another thing too, obviously, we are humans, physical beings, so there is times when we will maybe fall short in some ways, but that's why you endure, so you can try your hardest. And I mean, I think even to simplify it even more, to simplify the definition of love, just look at Jesus and what he all did and how that's everything he showed on the cross. So I mean, and to his fellow disciples and followers and to us too. So just looking at that and trying to live like him through that love, and how love is literally defined in 1 Corinthians when Paul was writing that, is flat out just essential.
And I feel like the context of love and honestly, I not thinking about it now, I think people have a different love for different types of people, like friends and that type of stuff, family, significant other. And honestly, I think about it and I'm like, I get that it's their different criterias, but in the same sense, all of them should still check these boxes.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree.
Like if I'm your friend and I tell you I love you, I check, like I gotta check these boxes.
Exactly. Yeah.
If I'm dating somebody and I'm gonna tell them I love them, because that's a huge thing. Check these boxes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And I think people don't. I think this verse is always sometimes forgotten, which is crazy because I feel like it shouldn't be.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah.
But I think about it because of the brokenness of marriages these days, and
like even
relationships, period, friendships and stuff like that. And I always think about this verse. I'm like, what went wrong?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's interesting.
And no, yeah, like I totally agree. And I was just gonna say too, like I think that's key for any relationship between, obviously. And I think a lot of people try to that's just defining maybe a relationship between, like whether it's a dating relationship or specifically marriage. When it's like, no, that goes for anyone. If you're
Anyone.
saying, like you just said, to a friend that you love, you have to show that. To a, say it is a significant other, you have to show that. To family, you have to show that. You know what I mean? And I think a great example of that I know in my own life is definitely shout out Rob, shout out my dad. But like, I mean, well, yeah, both my mom and dad. But that just came to mind when you were talking about verse 7. Verse 7. Always, I have the other translation.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I think it's good reading different translations.
Always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres or endures.
Yeah.
And the big one, obviously, like protects. That's such a dad thing, I feel like. And then perseveres and endures. That man has gone through so much just for me and my brother to sort of go and pursue what we think our callings are, states away. He's done so much just for that.
That's awesome.
So, just another example of that. And I think that's so huge, and it needs to be showed in all aspects of life, And the Bible says to love your neighbor too. So,
amen, for sure.
Show the love.
Yeah. Transitioning to more of the whole singleness. I feel like people look at singleness as being
detrimental.
Yeah. But there's actually so much power in being single. Doesn't mean it's easy.
Yeah.
But for myself, I found the power in being single, and I think I found that, I want to say junior year, because junior year at high school, I got a relationship sophomore year, and then junior year and senior year, that's when everything kind of like went to another level in like leadership and all the church stuff. So it's like I didn't really have time, and was even like looking, because I was kind of at a place where I'm like, yo, me and God are chilling.
Yeah.
And and that's probably the closest I've ever got to God. It was those 2 years. And I think about, and I think that's when I found out, that's when I really felt like, okay, like being single is awesome. And like, when everybody is complaining about them being single, I think it's always a good reminder that like, no, like God's got somebody for you. Like, to always be hopeful. To always be hopeful and know that He does care about our heart desires. And I feel like for myself, as somebody who wants to get married someday, to know that God knows that.
Yeah.
And to trust Him in that, but also not idolize my heart desires, because I feel like there's a difference between telling Him like what you want because He cares, because He's a loving Father, but in the same sense, understanding that He's got what's best, and in this time of being singleness, to pursue, to run after His presence and walk with Him, like you haven't, like no other, knowing that He wants to grow you, He wants to give you new dreams, He wants to give you more revelation, He wants to I don't know, He wants to do all that stuff. And I feel like, but I say that because like being 20, you're like, it's like realistic at this point,
Yeah.
And like I've been in a couple of dating relationships in the past, and great people. I think it was all like learning, and I think God's like right now, if I would say like where I'm at right now, I'd be like, I know what God has for me. Like I know like what He wants from me, wants for me.
Yes.
And so it's like, okay, in this season of waiting, how can I how can I be the man that God calls me to be? Knowing that I'm still gonna mess up, but like knowing that like I want to be ready to be the husband that he calls me to be, to then one day be the dad that he calls me to be, and to be the man of God that he calls me to be.
Yeah.
Before I'm like, that person is revealed, I guess.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
No, yeah.
But I say that because I think there's so much peace in being single. Once you change your heart posture and go through that with God, and like He's all I need, and believe that,
Yeah.
and walk in that, you like, I don't know, you like really can just like that perfect peace that I always talk about, and trusting that like, all right,
yeah,
like I know you got me, and I know you got that person wherever they are in their life, and yeah, but even I say that, but I also think on the same note, sometimes because God doesn't promise marriage.
Yeah.
And so I think in the Christian communities, that's always like a false statement when people are like, "Oh, you're supposed to get married. You're supposed to get married," and I'm like, "No."
Yeah.
Doesn't mean doesn't mean you won't, because he cares.
Yeah.
But like, and but sometimes God calls people to be single their whole lives, and guess what? The fruit of that is amazing.
Yeah.
And again, like there's so much power in that.
It's called the gift of singleness for a reason.
For real. I don't know. I just think I'm like thinking as I go. I think it's interesting.
And while it could seem like, oh, who would ever want to do that? Like like if you think about it in your own head, you're like, but at the end of the day, God knows what's best for us. So he's not going to put us in a situation, oh, well, God, I think this might be better, so just give it to me because I know, no, that's not how it works. He's going to know what's best for you, so he's not going to throw you in something that he knows isn't going to grow you or grow you spiritually and closer to him if something else is going to be better for you.
Yeah.
There. But as far as singleness, I could go a little bit on that.
Go.
I was going to talk a little bit about my experience with singleness. For someone who's been single like their entire life, yeah, there's times when it can be challenging and in multiple ways. Not only with, I'd say, how society looks down on it and how that can sort of make you feel and how that sort of attacks some of your thoughts, but also how, in a lot of ways, staying single can be a little challenging as well, and that's obviously a lot easier said than done, but yeah, I'm going to go into a verse real quick, and then I'll sort of go into the context of that, and then also go off some more experiences, but once again, 1 Corinthians, but it's 1 Corinthians 7:32 through 35. I would like you to be free from concern. An unmarried man is concerned about the Lord's affairs, how he can please the Lord. But a married man is concerned about the affairs of this world, how he can please his wife, and how he can please his wife. And his interests are divided. An unmarried woman is concerned about the Lord's affairs. Her aim is to be devoted to the Lord in both body and spirit. But a married woman is concerned about the affairs of this world, how she can please her husband. I am saying this for your own good, not to restrict you, but that you may live in a right way in undivided devotion to the Lord. So, a little bit of context. Paul wrote this for the community of Corinth, talking about benefits of singleness. And when you are single, that is like you said, such a strong thing, and I think it gets overlooked often because that is such a sacred time for you to go as close as possible and mature yourself to be closer to God, so that when you are called to, if you are called to, raise a family or do something else in your singleness, that you know him and you know that he is at the center of it, no matter what.
No matter what.
So, why did it X out of my notes? But yeah, and so along with that, like, we live in a society where singleness is seen as, oh, there's something wrong with you.
Mm-hmm.
There's something wrong with that person over there. They're ill or whatever, There's something wrong with them. And I know for me, it's in a lot of ways, it is challenging mentally thinking of that, because people who don't know God or know Jesus, and when they sort of have this attitude of there's something wrong with that person, they've never been in a relationship, that there's something wrong with them, right? And I know that definitely attacks you mentally. One, you got to understand that they don't understand that. Yeah. But at the same time, you're like, oh, wait, like maybe this is that, blah, blah, blah. Satan's trying to attack your head, and you're like, it could be a little scary because you're just like, wait, not a lot of people have been single for that long of a period of time. Like, maybe there is this, but no. That's
Devil
not true.
Be gone in the
name
of Jesus.
Amen. That's not true. And sort of another thing with that is understanding when something isn't for you.
That's huge.
Huge. I can't tell you.
That's huge.
There's been some times where I've thought, okay, maybe this is for me. Trying to go after it, and it's so clearly God saying, no, it's not for you. That's not for you. And you sort of get in this, like, put the blinders on, and you're kind of like, oh, but wait, you know what I mean? So,
yeah.
Yeah. I look like the Kool-Aid man right now, too. I'm wearing this red thing, got the hat. Oh, yeah. So, but that was perfect. That was so perfect.
That was amazing.
But,
oh my gosh, bro.
but yeah, like, sometimes you're like, oh, I think that's for me. I think that, and God's so clearly just pulling it away. And I mean, I've had examples recently as well with that. And, obviously it was so evident from God that, no, that's not for you, but blindsided by it. But in his protection, he's like, nope, not for you.
Yeah. And I think, I mean, I'm kind of at this point with every relationship, like friendships, mentorships, dating relationships, but potential dating relationships.
Yeah.
Of it's not so deep all the time. And I think it's a little bit of a side note, but I feel like we all tend to take things so personally. And again, it's all situational. Sometimes it is deep. It's all situational. Yeah. But for the most part, I'm at this point of like, if nobody's gonna stick around, then like whatever.
Yeah.
Like, does it like, cool.
Yeah.
Like, does it like I'm not gonna not be nice to that person? Like it doesn't have. It's not so deep. But in the same sense, like, because I know what God has best for me, that, and like with friendships, significant, like potential significant others, a potential mentor for a season, or whatever that looks like. Like it.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be so deep.
Yeah.
You just be like, all right, cool, peace out.
Yeah, he's got it.
what does God have now? Because I know
Yeah.
He's got best.
Yeah.
So I think in some sense I'm really quick to that now, which I think it's I don't know if it's good or bad.
I don't think it's necessarily bad.
I don't think it's necessarily bad, but I'm so just like, all right, bro, you ain't gonna stick around. Peace out.
Yeah.
Like I don't.
Best of luck.
Best of luck. I'm like,
Bye.
it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
And I think people tend to like dramatize everything and
Take offense to it.
and take offense to it.
personally.
I'm like, we're all just trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
Especially as like believers who understand that like God has a purpose for my life. God has a calling for my life. God has plans for my life. God has a person for my life. God has friends who are gonna stay and build me up.
And friends who are seasonal.
Friends who are seasonal. No, but it's for real though.
Shout out last
And or
episode.
but like in the same sense, like your homies back then might come back 5 years from now.
Yeah.
And they might come back with more wisdom and more maturity than they did back then.
5 years ago, yeah.
You know? So I think if you have like for me, I have that perspective. And I didn't have it again, I have it now. Probably for the last year I've had that perspective of it. And it's like, yeah, I mean, it's seasonal.
Yeah.
Knowing that God's got the best for you and to not burn bridges. But also in the same sense, that does not mean you don't put boundaries up.
Yeah.
But to not burn bridges. And I know we're talking about singleness, so it's a little bit of a tangent, but I just think it's important because it's like when you're single, you only focus, not your only, but your main focus should be how I need to get the closest to God as possible. I want to be very intentional with my time with the Lord. I want to be able to hear Him. I'm going to mess up. What does He have for me to do in that growth aspect of it?
Yeah.
Because I want to get to this.
Mm-hmm.
I want to get to that. I want to be this man. I want to be this like husband. Like I want to be this father. All that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But the little things though, with like the friendships, with like seeing what's in front of you, but understanding like that person, like in a significant other, what dating relationship wise, might not be for you. Yeah. And guess what? That's okay.
Yeah.
Because He's got what's best. So anyways, don't take everything so deep, guys.
Yeah, it's not.
It's not worth it.
It's not that personal.
It's not that
There's
personal.
No need to get overly emotional about it.
Like
the thing I've learned in the past 4 years is how to really. This could sound negative, but it's not. How to really. I don't know the word, like decompress your emotions, not let them get in the way of, well, mainly relationships, but just things in general, because it's only gonna make matters worse, and it's gonna create a spin in your head. So ultimately, like this is another tangent, dog, but we live in a world where it's like everyone's like, oh, trust your emotions, trust how you feel emotionally. Well, how does this make you feel? No, it doesn't matter how it makes you feel. Because guess what? If we were just going based off emotion and how something makes you feel in the moment, there'd be a lot of BS going on right now.
Facts.
A lot of effed up stuff going on in the world.
Facts.
So do not trust your emotions. Now, we all have emotions, right? That's how it's going to be. But learning how to control that and be like Jesus and how He was with His emotions.
No pun intended, but that is a work in progress.
Oh yeah, it's challenging.
And for somebody who's very emotional, person, I think I've gotten so much better at that. But also, it is challenging.
Yeah.
So I think I'm still figuring it out.
Yeah.
I think in some areas of life, where I normally let my emotions get to me, I've gotten better at.
Mm-hmm.
I think for me personally, I think at conflicted situations, like I used to not do good in conflict, and thankful for God putting me in positions when I was a teenager because I had to learn that. And so now in my 20s, I feel like I don't go to conflict first, but but it doesn't like, I'm comfortable.
Bother you, yeah.
I'm comfortable with it. So I think about that growth aspect for me personally of not letting my emotions get to me. I've seen the growth there by a mile.
Yeah.
But with other stuff, it's still challenging.
Yeah,
I think
for sure.
especially for more emotional people. But like you said, in the same note, you can't like act upon your emotions.
Yeah.
You can't.
And finding a way to control
it.
You know, is huge.
That's why prayers are so evident and so important.
A good beast, though.
That's why I always go back to my life verse, Isaiah 26:3. I got perfect peace, and I mean, do I do it all the time? No. But I would say 80%, 85%. Trying to get to 100% the best I can. I'm to not make a decision or act upon something without having that perfect peace.
Yeah.
Because to me, the presence of God, here we go. The presence of God is perfect peace. Perfect peace is clarity.
Oh, that's good. Sorry, that's good.
I'm going to say that one more time.
Oh, that was good.
The presence of God is perfect peace, and perfect peace is clarity.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm like visualizing like a
equals. So
like a cycle sort of thing, like the rain cycle.
Presence of God equals perfect peace, and perfect peace equals clarity.
That's good. That's a bar. That's a huge bar.
And that has changed my life since sophomore Scotty to now sophomore year of high school, where I was 16, 17 to now 20-year-old Scotty.
Yeah.
Still changed my life forever.
Yeah.
Of that revelation of that cycle.
Yeah.
Is it perfect every time? No, because I'm broken.
Yeah.
But knowing that in my head and trying my best to stay obedient when it goes from perfect peace to clarity, how can I stay obedient? Sometimes you don't because you're messed up and you're stupid. I mean, just to be completely honest.
Yeah.
Sometimes, for real, God's just like, oh, child, what is wrong with you? But I love you, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean that cycle was so made evident so much. I mean, sort of talked about this in the last episode, but like, I was in a season where it was like letting emotionally like stress and anger get the best of you, and I was in this very stressful like, why am I not hearing anything from God? What am I supposed to be doing in this season? Like what? Like, like what's up? And it really wasn't until I sort of started trying to force myself to get out of that zone and force myself more in the presence of God that I started to feel peace about not knowing, but you're at peace, you're going to get clarity. So boom. At the time it was
with being single and with
and with that,
and others,
other things
other
too.
stuff
But
too,
it goes for all things.
I think for me, I think I'm so at peace.
Yeah.
With being single and knowing, and like I think God's made things clear in regards to relationships and like dating and potential marriage someday. But I think the thing that's hard and continue to trust is his perfect timing. And I think I'm getting really good at that in this aspect of it right now. For me personally, but it doesn't mean. I think when you get to that point, that's when the devil tries to creep in.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think when you get to that point where he's like, oh, shoot, then he's just like, I'm not trying to mess it up, though. Which means he's going to try to mess
it up.
You up.
Mess you up.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he's going to try to mess up with your mind. And I think I get emotional talking about it, but I think with that idea and where I'm at, it's like God's protecting me still.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, how? Why? Because
don't get me started on God's
Because it's like, because I'm broken.
Yeah.
And he's just like, I still got you. Keep trusting me and keep putting yourself in positions where you're following me and not the world and stuff. And that's why I think the devil really tries to get you is when you have that clarity.
Yeah. And
when you're at like the point where you're just like, God's all I need.
Yeah.
And with that, I know what what he has for me.
Yeah.
And that is when I feel like the devil is just like, shoot, I did not want Scotty to get to that point.
Yeah.
I did not want, I don't want,
yeah.
Because that peace in being single is powerful.
Yeah, extremely.
It's powerful. The devil does not want you to have peace being single. He does not want you to have peace understanding that God's all you need and God is love. He doesn't want you to do that or believe in that. He doesn't want you to walk in that at all.
Yeah.
And that's what scares the devil.
Yeah, exactly. It scares him because he knows you're going to grow so close to God that it's just unfathomable to him. He's just like, no. But because it's going to free people from his grip. So he's scared. He's a weasel.
He's a bum. He's a bum.
And I mean, that kind of transitions, I feel like this kind of transitions to not relying on a person.
Facts.
To try and fix.
Facts.
Whatever it is. Avoid your brokenness and so on and so forth. I mean, we already talked about how Jesus is love, and love is literally defined in 1 Corinthians 13, 4-7, right? And so Jesus is the definition of love because of his perfection to that verse, right? And so, and
the sacrifice he made for us.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. And I mean, that sacrifice, what that was, is literally defined in that verse. I mean, and nobody will ever be able to be Jesus. So
nope.
Why are you trying to date these people and holding them on this pedestal like they are Jesus?
Come on.
You know what I mean?
Come on.
At that point, you're basically idolizing someone else.
Uh-huh.
So, I mean, so that's why you have to be comfortable in singleness.
Facts.
Because if you're going to try to, that's not fair to you, that's not fair to Jesus, and that's not fair to them.
That's not fair. Yeah.
It's not fair for anyone for you to expect them to play God or Jesus in your life. They can't. No one can. So if you're not trying to seek him first and trying to seek him the whole time, so be it. Nothing else will do it for you.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting kind of going more on like the worldly side of it. There's so many avenues where media just straight up, just cultural, I guess ideology, I don't know.
Yeah.
About love and how it's like this, like I'm perfect, rainbows, butterflies, thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, love's a choice.
Yeah. Love, it is a choice.
That's.
And I got you.
It fires me up because it's like I can be like, yo, I love you. And then tomorrow, I might be like, yo, I'm not sure.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Straight up. And then
No.
you just be like, but it's a choice.
It is a choice.
An everyday
it's
choice.
a choice of decisions as well, you know, and
but God chooses to love us every single day. That's why it's perfect love.
Yeah.
But we don't. But he's made that choice. And
yeah,
he already made that by.
He already showed it.
He already showed it. Like that's never gonna change, which is awesome.
Yeah.
That's why. Me and God's one of the boys. Like me and him are best friends.
Yeah, it's a relationship.
Yeah. But when it comes to us broken humans, we think it's this amazing, perfect thing. Yes, is there perks to it? Yes. Is it awesome?
It's
yes.
awesome, yeah. Things are gonna happen.
Is marriage supposed to like symbolize the church? Yes.
Yeah.
Is dating a gateway to see if you're a matchable person?
Yes.
To marriage? Yes. Yes. But love's a choice.
It is a choice.
It's not this perfect. It's gonna be perfect all the time. Everything.
Yeah. Something went wrong.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
That's when people bail.
Yeah.
That's when people bail.
You can't be a lover if you're not a fighter.
Oh.
Hey, I just want to say. Okay. This is completely sidetracked. And hear me out.
Fire me up.
Keanu Reeves. I know he's not a Christian, but he said that. I stole it from him. But I mean, it's true.
Shout out Keanu Reeves.
Shout out Keanu Reeves. I mean, well, if you think about it, The Matrix has a lot of biblical references. So,
never seen it.
What? The first Matrix episode has so many biblical references. It's
really?
crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. I remember watching.
I've seen John Wick.
That does not have any biblical.
No biblical references at all.
Zero.
But and probably shouldn't have watched it. It's very entertaining though.
Yeah, it is very entertaining. I'm an avid John Wick fan.
I love action movies.
Yeah, same.
Anyway,
yeah, that's besides. A little sidetracked. I don't even remember what I was gonna say before that. But yeah, you gotta fight for it. You can't just bail. And you always see these things where like people's expectations of success. Sorry, this is gonna go.
Okay. Get ready for this, y'all.
Oh, it's about to go crazy, but this is different.
Bro, I just said y'all.
Y'all.
Bro,
I say y'all now too.
I know this California boys turning country.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Just a little bit.
Yes,
guys.
ma'am.
Just
yes,
a little
sir.
bit. The St. Clement
no, ma'am.
boys,
No, sir.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. But people's expectations, and specifically, let's talk about just love in general and how it's a choice. People's expectations are always like, oh, it's gonna be this. Oh, heck no. Heck no. That is not the path to success because it's unrealistic. The path to success is, oh, what? Whoa. Okay, success. You know what I mean? It's not that easy. It's not that easy. And I mean, that's just talking about a relationship, even people's expectations. That's just talking about a relationship. People's expectations is going to be all this perfect track to success. No way. If you think it's a perfect track to success, I'm sorry, you're in for a lot of trouble because that's not how it works. There's going to be ups and downs. It's not going to be perfect. But it's how you react to those ups and downs that determines, your outcome or your output. Talking business stuff now, input, output, all that. But that's kind of a great transition to, we were talking about this the other day, unrealistic expectations.
Spit it.
And I mean, like I already said, that goes for more on the relationship side, but I feel like now we live in a world where there's such unrealistic expectations, even just physically, and well, I guess personality wise too, there definitely is, but take that with a grain of salt. What I mean by that is like worldly, I guess. People have such unrealistic expectations on the worldly aspects of people. And letting flesh desires be more important than spiritual. That's what I have written down here. and you
Well,
sort of had these things.
I know we need to talk about after this. Sorry.
Yeah. You sort of had these things where people were picturing this perfect guy or perfect girl, like he needs to have this, and this,
He
and
needs to
be
be
like
jacked
this.
and over 6 foot.
He needs to be, this, and this. He's got to make 6 figures, blah blah blah, blah blah blah. And then vice versa. You got the guy, she's got to be a supermodel.
Yeah.
She takes the model off, still got to be a supermodel, and this and that, and she's got to be this short or whatever. I don't know if that's how whatever, but
I don't know.
I don't know. But she's got to be like blah 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 blah.
I never thought about that.
Yeah, I know, neither.
But
shout out us, no.
Hey, yo.
No.
No, but it's facts because it's like I think it kind of transitions perfectly. Guys, this is really good.
Very nice.
But when you talk about like the expectations, I go straight to what I believe.
Mm-hmm.
This is my belief, and so it's not biblical necessarily.
Yeah.
At least I don't think. If it is, let me know. But respect.
Yeah.
Does physical attraction matter?
Yes.
Yes.
And it's okay to have standards. There's nothing wrong with that. However,
if I don't respect, sorry.
No. I think, and it's okay to have standards. I mean, not only physically, but with other things too.
Yeah.
But I think when it gets dangerous is when you're putting that in front of spiritual connection.
And you're gonna miss out. And I think when you do put that, you miss out. You could miss out on what God has in front of you right now, because you thought, oh, I'm wanting to get to, like, this is the person I thought I was gonna marry, or date, or whatever, and the person who's been there the whole time.
Yeah, and I mean, I think the big issue
sometimes.
I think the big issue behind that too. I mean, social media. Social media is just desensitizing to everyone of, this magical, perfect person. Guess what? They don't exist.
They don't exist.
I'm sorry. There's not. You're not gonna find this ultra perfect guy or this ultra perfect girl. Once again, going back to no one's going to be perfect. Only Jesus is, and will continue to, thrive in that way. So, you trying to find that is unrealistic. And if you're trying to, like I already said, put those worldly or flesh desires ahead of a spiritual connection with someone, oh my gosh, you're going to miss out on so much.
Good luck.
On this too is Romans 8:5-8. Those who live according to the flesh have their minds set on what the flesh desires, but those who live in accordance with the Spirit have their minds set on what the Spirit desires. The mind governed by the flesh is death, but the mind governed by the Spirit is life and peace. The mind governed by flesh is hostile to God. It does not submit to God's law, nor can it do so.
Come on.
Those who are in the realm of the flesh cannot please God.
I'm in church, y'all.
Boom.
Woo.
Boom.
Come on, Jesus.
Can I get a witness?
Yo, that's a Jordan Felice song.
Yeah, but it's amazing to me now seeing in our generation where these people are so uncommitted to things because they have this picture in their head of this ultra perfect, unrealistic expectation to a human.
It's all flesh.
And a lot of it is fleshly desires, which, come on, like, no.
It's sad.
It is sad.
And I think, I think kind of going back to, like, the respect thing.
Yeah, sorry.
No, you're good. That should be the focal point.
Yeah.
In my opinion. And when I talk about respect, not just like, oh, I respect you as a peer, more than I respect how you're living your life.
Yeah.
I respect how God has grown you. Like, that is huge too.
Yeah.
Knowing that the person you met back, the person the person that person was back then is not the person they are now.
Mm-hmm.
And to see, look at the fruit of their lives.
Yeah.
Look at the harvest that God's making.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously you have to connect with this person and be physically attracted. It is, too. All those things are points and valid, but how is that person living their life for Jesus?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And also, I mean, I think the growth aspect, I didn't even really think about that till like really now. But like, I think that's huge in a lot of respect, because like somebody might have been somebody in the past, but look at where they come from now, because of the relationship with Jesus. And like, I don't know, like the respect for their fruit is to me huge. And I'm like, if I don't respect somebody,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be in a relationship with them.
Yeah.
If that's, I mean, dating relationship, if I don't respect you, doesn't mean you're not important, but you're not for me.
Yeah, and it goes back to too, like if someone isn't showing respect towards you in that manner, then that's honestly it's not for you.
Yeah.
Because sorry.
No,
but,
I'm just thinking.
Yeah, like I don't know, it's just if you don't feel that respect coming from someone where they respect where you're going and things, how are you guys supposed to be a team? You can't.
And
you guys are going
in
separate.
And what I kind of go back
ideas.
to, it's not so deep. So I think that's honestly, in my opinion, right now, I think that's huge. Is like looking at where is that person called to.
Yeah.
I think we missed that aspect of it.
Yeah, we did. We did.
What?
We missed that aspect.
Like,
I forgot to say it beforehand, but we're saying it now.
Yeah.
So
no, I think, but
sorry,
I think
I thought that's what we meant.
Yeah, I think that too. But I think just as a Christian community and just in the world, I think we miss where is that person being called to. Not necessarily meaning you have to be called to the same thing vocationally.
Yeah.
Like, doesn't mean you both have to be business people. Doesn't mean you both have to be in ministry.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean, it's not what I mean. But where is God calling them in, like, how they're living their life?
Yeah. Huge.
You know?
Huge.
Because if I'm going to partner with somebody, I can't be behind them spiritually. Not like it's not a love or a contest. It's not that. That's not what I'm meaning by that. But I cannot, because if God is all they need in their life, and they believe that and they live that out, right? But for me, let's say it's not, but it's like kind of is. Let's just say that, and that ain't gonna work.
Yeah.
And so you can switch that too. If it was for me, and it's not gonna work.
Mm-hmm.
There's no shot.
Yeah.
There's no shot. But the whole not so deep. It's okay, because guess what? That other person's growing.
Yeah.
And you continue to pray for them.
Yeah.
So, but I think the calling aspect of it is something that we don't think about as much.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if you have anything.
I think, yeah, and, I mean, that sort of goes along the lines of, I mean, obviously, as Christians, we date to marry, and solely for that purpose, to figure out if that person is the person for us. But sort of bringing up, I mean, this is more of a marriage topic, I'd say, but bringing up being equally yoked,
Oh, for sure.
So, I mean, we could go into that separately, but
yeah,
that might be later down the line.
Much
later down.
But yeah, no, I mean, but you need to be.
Yeah.
I mean, I think even in dating, I mean, you might not be, but the idea is you think you are, but you don't know until you are. But
it's essential, though, too. Really, it is. I mean, even just talking on, like, the aspect of spiritual maturity from that, if someone is not around the same area of spiritual maturity, and it's not like a thing to try to sound like, oh, I'm more spiritually mature than you and this and that. No. It literally just has to do with if someone's a little more new to this than you are, and you know, been a devoted Christian
and walking the walk
a lot longer, it's just things are going to be a lot different. Someone's not going to understand something exactly, and it's while you can communicate things, it, you know, things may differ and vary throughout that, and trying to chase that from my own experience is just it doesn't work.
And I kind of go back to another thing that I feel like is like missed out on, or I feel like we as believers can start to outrun God.
Mm.
You know what I mean? If you know what I mean?
Yeah. Or try to.
And yeah, in the sense that like, obviously God's God, but like in the sense that like, God talks about multiple times in the Bible to walk with Him, not to run after His presence, but walk with Him.
Mm-hmm.
And He would guide every step. And I think there's times where we jump ahead of ourselves. And
yeah, definitely.
Obviously, God redeems the decisions we make, and He turns everything to good, which is awesome.
Hallelujah.
But I think the idea of being able to be slow,
yeah,
and walk with Him, because I think that being intentional in that will bring more clarity to who He has for you, where He wants to take you.
Yeah. No, that's really good.
I have another verse that I will share in regards to singleness and dating and potential marriage, all that stuff. It's Jeremiah 29:11 says, "For I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord. They are plans for good, not for disaster, to give you a future and a hope." And in regards to dating, I think that applies, and being single and stuff, because when you are in the season of singleness, understanding that He has a future for you.
Yeah.
Take that
regardless.
Take the other person out of it.
Mm-hmm.
He has a future for you.
Yeah.
For you. Between you and Him,
mm-hmm.
He's got a future.
Yeah.
And whoever that significant other is, He's got a future for them, for her, and him.
Yeah.
To me, I mean, it's like, okay.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I think it's really dope. It's very humbling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is singleness easy? No. Is it powerful? Heck yes. It's very powerful. Very underrated.
Take advantage of it.
Very underrated. Yeah. Singleness, take advantage of it.
If it's anything I regret in some of the years of my life, it's not taking advantage of it. If you get so caught up in this, not actually realizing the power of singleness and not realizing maybe why you're single, in a sense that you need to grow closer to God, then you're kind of just wasting time, honestly.
And there's a couple more points that comes to mind.
Oh yeah, this is awesome.
But even though breakups can be hard, there's so much peace in knowing, in my opinion, that wasn't for you.
Yeah.
And then that's that. I'll just leave it there. But another thing, for me personally, as growing up at the church, growing up with people always in in another like a season past me.
Yeah.
Like young adults, and when I was a teenager, I was always hanging out with young adults, and they're either getting married or they have a kid, or they've been married forever and have multiple kids who are now adults, and I'm like serving alongside them, learning from them, peers with them, which is crazy. Like I was like a peer, and I'm just like, at one point, at least in my perspective, to me, it felt like that. But I think my whole life, I always dated for marriage.
Yeah.
Understanding that not everybody was too, and that's why it ended, which is awesome because obviously I can't.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for the person
Yeah.
who got a house for me, you know. But I think in that sense, I've really taken out different things from other people's relationships and marriages that are fruitful and have kind of just been like, that's sick. Boom.
Yeah.
Let me write this down. Boom.
Yeah.
Bah, 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 bah. And applying it to myself and growing myself first, and then in preparation for being married and or that dating relationship that will end up in marriage. Or and I can name so many different people that comes to mind that I could be like, they're really good at showing this.
Mm-hmm.
Boom. I want to be able to show that.
Yeah.
They're really good at doing this. I
Yeah,
want my
dude.
marriage to do that.
Yeah.
And I think for me, I've always been observant in that as somebody who's always, as a young kid, always wanted to be married.
Yeah.
Still do. I think I say that because I think it's very important to pick out, not really, it's very important, but it's very I've seen it as very like a good growth aspect of it, and I can't wait to see the fruit of myself learning that to when I am married and seeing that, of just taking little things out. Like I think of so many people that I know, but somebody that people who are listening might already know of.
Yeah.
Is Brandon, Lake, and Brittany.
Yeah.
Again, I don't put nobody on pedestals. Nobody should ever be on a pedestal. Brandon, Lake, and Brittany are the homies. How I met them once. Don't know them though. I met them once though. But you can see the fruit of their lives.
Yeah.
And how beautiful their marriage is. Knowing that it's not perfect, but them being they've talked about it, and I just think, to me, I use them as an example because everybody probably has heard of them. But seeing what they've kind of applied and grabbing that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. No. Yeah. That's really powerful. Very strong. Very smart to do as well. Very observant. That's probably something I need to do a little more. But my biggest, I guess, not influencers, but I guess inspirations, I guess you'd say, would probably be my parents, you know, and seeing that, it's huge.
Yeah, same.
Growing up in a, very blessed to grow up in a very healthy family environment. So, but, yeah.
Yeah.
So.
I don't know. This conversation is really important.
Yeah.
I'm glad we had it.
It was fun.
It makes me think a lot, though, in a good way. But yeah, I don't know.
So do we want to transition into a period of prayer requests?
Oh yeah, prayer requests.
Prayer requests.
So, if you guys need any prayer, we always like to we always want to invite atmosphere of being able to for us to be able to pray for you, and you guys can shoot us in the DMs. That's probably the best way to do it. And we're here for you guys. We love you guys. We want to, again, we're going to repeat this multiple times. So this is a family. Me and Julian are both big family guys. Family oriented. And yeah, I don't know. So if you guys need any prayer or anything, don't be hesitant to reach out, DM us. And maybe we do some Instagram lives down the road or whatever.
Yeah, that would be super cool.
But yeah, we got another super dope episode
coming up.
So stay tuned to that. And if you feel called to, it would be amazing if you like and subscribe.
Subscribe.
Tell your friends and family about it. If it's on Spotify.
Yeah.
If you're listening on Spotify, it's on
Spotify, YouTube,
and it will be on more platforms on the road.
We've got clips on our Instagram, YouTube, TikTok.
Yeah, TikTok.
Check that stuff out. If you feel so, drop a follow, drop a like.
Very helpful.
Drop a comment for the algo. The algo's huge.
Algo's crazy.
Algo's crazy. Algo's confusing sometimes, but that's okay, right? We move.
All right, guys. Till next week. Love you all.
Love you.